News team, thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Johnson.
And I'm Chris Raggi here with Dana Tyler and Jim Rosenfield. Now with the news at 6. Guys.
Thanks, Chris and Christine.
And right now it's 6.
I've answered all your questions about my knowledge, what I knew.
It's not over. Tonight, another agency is investigating the alleged plot to take down one of Governor Spitzer's political rivals.
Beneath the Earth will take you inside the hole left by last week's steam pipe explosion.
Slimy strap hangers. Hear what's happening on the subways that many people are not reporting.
You're watching CBS 2 News in high definition.
Good evening, I'm Jim Rosenfield.
And I'm Dana Tyler. A major development in the scandals surrounding Governor Elliott Spitzer's administration. The
State Ethics Commission says it will now investigate several of the governor's top aides accused in a plot to discredit Republican Senate Leader Joe Bruno.
CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer has tonight's story from Albany.
There were no violations of law, and that is why we've acted appropriately.
For the 4th day in a row, Governor Elliott Spitzer tried to put the Troopergate scandal behind him.
My view is that it is now time to move on to the business.
But that is not going to happen. The State Ethics Commission today said it will now probe the scandal in which top aides to Spitzer used state police in a plot to discredit Republican Senate Leader Joseph Bruno. The commission has subpoena power, and it can compel the testimony of 2 top Spitzer aides, Communications Director Darren Dopp and Chief of Staff Richard Baum. Both refused to be questioned by Attorney General Andrew Cuomo. They submitted written statements. Governor Spitzer pushed his own innocence today.
I've answered all your questions about my knowledge, what I knew.
But the situation is so bad that a member of Spitzer's own party compared the digging up of dirt on Bruno to Richard Nixon and Watergate.
That goes back to the old days of Richard Nixon, and it didn't work out very well for him when his hench people or henchmen bungled a mere burglary.
The Republicans say they're considering their own probe and compared the actions of Spitzer's staff to the Kremlin.
The hair kind of stood up in the back of my neck because just returned from a trip to the Black Sea, and the KGB was pretty operative all over there, and I didn't know that they were being called upon to reinstitute some kind of activities here in New York.
This borderlines criminality, what's happened here. We're talking about backdating FOIL requests. We're talking about tampering with records. We're talking about a whole host of issues, using the state police incorrectly for political gain.
A spokeswoman said the governor would cooperate with the ethics probe by turning over documents, but there was no comment about whether he would compel his 2 top aides to testify. In Albany, I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS 2 News.
The State Ethics Commission will seek all interview transcripts, notes, emails, and other material from the investigation just completed this week by Attorney General Andrew Cuomo. Jim?
Dana, the back-breaking work has begun at the site of last Wednesday's deadly steam pipe explosion on the east side. Crews are now underground, shoring up the area at the site of the blast. Chopper 2 HD was over the area a short time ago, and on the ground, CBS 2's John Slattery had a chance today to go past the barriers just a short time ago for our first up-close look into the crater. John?
Now, Con Ed officials say that it will take weeks before they are able to correct the huge problem, all of the utility lines that are underground in that crater. I was given a tour of the crater, the rim around it, as close as you can get this afternoon. Take a look at the mangled mess. The crater that takes up most of the intersection at 41st and Lex is a huge hole of utility lines like spaghetti, water lines, sewer lines, a steam line, you name it.
A series of electric equipment, some gas equipment, some telephone equipment, and down below, so deep that we can't even see it yet, is our steam equipment that ruptured last Wednesday.
How far down?
We don't know, because there's so much equipment on top, we haven't been able to get down there yet.
Con Ed took us on a tour within the frozen zone to the edge of the crater, where you can fully appreciate the scope of the damage and how much repair lies ahead. The blast of steam from an underground rupture shot up some 30 stories. 1 person died of a heart attack, some 40 others were injured. Even now, 3 buildings remain closed, some office windows remain shattered. The gas, phone, water, and electric workers are on round-the-clock shifts of 12 hours each. The size of the crater is to be expanded even further, and as it is, the walls of the hole must be shored up.
The shoring needs to be done to make safe access. It's a safety issue. We want to make sure whoever goes in that hole is safe.
Once the ruptured steam pipe is located, it will be excavated, taken to a lab, and extensively examined to try and determine what went wrong. Reporting live from Midtown, John Slattery, CBS 2 News. Dana?
Thank you, John. Grief and sadness tonight after 6 members of a New York family are killed in a fiery car crash in Virginia. The Gopal family was heading back to New York from North Carolina when their Honda Accord crashed into a truck. Witnesses say the Honda's driver appeared to lose control of the car. Both vehicles caught fire. The victims lived in Queens and the Bronx and ranged in age from 1 to 23 years old.
To be killed like this, and as you said, practically a whole family.
It's hard to believe, but you have to be strong and face reality, you know. It's time for them, and you do.
The driver of the truck was treated at the scene for a head injury.
It'll be at least a week before we know exactly why a veteran Newark firefighter died. On Monday, Cornelius Knowlton experienced back and neck pain while he was fighting a fire in Brookdale. The 37-year-old was hospitalized and released, but later went back to another hospital where he died. An autopsy will now be performed. Knowlton was a father of 3 and a 14-year veteran of the Newark Fire Department.
30 potential human remains were recovered yesterday at the World Trade Center site. Crews uncovered the fragments around Liberty Street. That's in addition to 35 found on Tuesday. All of the remains will undergo further testing to begin the identification process. The remains of 1,100 victims have not yet been found.
A beloved church official in New Jersey, a trustee, has been arrested for stealing from the offering basket. Investigators say it had been going on for a long time. CBS 2's Jay Dow has the story from Mountainside.
For years, he was trusted with his church's finances, but investigators say 71-year-old William Buno violated that trust, allegedly stuffing his own pockets with cash, some $28,000 over the years, from the offering basket at Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in Mountainside. Hi, Miss Buno?
Yeah.
Today, only Mrs. Buno answered the door.
I don't care to comment on that. Thank you very much.
Well, did he do it? Investigators say Buno never got greedy. He always took a modest amount of money out of the offering, and he managed to get away with it for almost 12 years. That period ended in December when church officials caught Buno red-handed.
The church had a surveillance camera in place in one of the back rooms where money was dropped.
After a lengthy investigation, Buno was arrested and charged yesterday with theft. Parishioners still can't believe the news. And you still don't believe it?
Well, I want to see it. I want to see it. I don't believe it. I know the man. Like, everybody knows the guy. He's a great guy.
Church officials aren't making any comment, but the Archdiocese of Newark released a statement today saying, quote, "The parish community of Our Lady of Lourdes has been very saddened by this entire incident, and this individual has not been in a position of trust since the beginning of this year." William Buno's next court appearance is scheduled for August 3rd. In Mountainside, Jay Dow, CBS 2 News.
And this isn't the only recent case on Long Island. A former altar boy was arraigned today on charges he stole money from his church's poor box. Police say security videos at St. Mary's Catholic Church in East Islip showed 37-year-old Matthew Belcher breaking into 4 poor boxes. Back in May, Belcher now faces 2 misdemeanor charges. He's free on $4,500 bail.
He asked for 2 new credit cards and ended up getting 2,000 cards instead. Wait until you hear what he did next.
A Good Samaritan stops to help and is carjacked and dragged.
Down in the subways, there is something happening to riders at an alarming rate. It may have already happened to you. So what is it, and what's being done to stop it?
If you see news in your area, call our tip line at 1-800-CH2-NEWS. That's 1-800-CH2-NEWS.
Suffolk County authorities are investigating a fatal crash involving a police cruiser. An officer was responding to a call of 15 motorcycles speeding on Route 25A in Mount Sinai last night when he crashed into a 1993 Ford Mustang. The driver of the car, 27-year-old Gabriel Burgianti, died a short time later at a hospital. The officer was treated for minor injuries and released. Authorities are asking anyone who witnessed that crash to call police. Jim?
Also on the island tonight, a Good Samaritan says he has not lost faith in mankind. despite being carjacked, dragged and punched by the man he tried to help. CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan picks up the story in Suffolk County.
James Scarabino had just left his Lake Ronkonkoma family, heading for his 1 a.m. shift in the Bronx. Suddenly, before his eyes, a silver Corvette left the road and flipped. Scarabino slammed on his brakes and rushed to rescue the motorist.
The car was on fire. Pulled the gentleman out. Didn't look like he was moving much. As he came out of the car, he gave me a shove.
What he didn't know was that the Corvette had just been stolen in Freeport. Police picked up the pursuit along the LIE here. At exit 58, the suspect rammed a family from Shirley and kept going. Now reversing direction at exit 53, he lost control, taking a curve at well over 100 miles an hour.
He reached my car, opened up the driver's door, and got in. As he was accelerating away, I was still holding on to him. We traveled, I don't know, about 50 feet.
The Good Samaritan tried to stop the guy once he got into the car, the suspect. He was dragged for a short distance.
Police called off the high-speed chase for safety after the carjacking and rear-ending of this Grand Am driven by Philip Pochia and his son.
Out of nowhere, just happened to look, look in the rearview mirror and a set of lights, boom.
The suspect injured himself when he flipped the Corvette. His blood recovered in both the stolen and the carjacked vehicles. Police now have his DNA and say it's just a matter of time before they close in on him. On Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
Scarabino says if he had to do it all over again, he would still rush to the aid of anyone in trouble. But what an experience.
A lot of people do that, help others.
Yes.
Have you ever been sexually harassed on the subway? If so, you are not alone. See what's being done to make sure strap hangers aren't subjected to lewd behavior underground.
He must have really good credit. Still ahead, why a local accountant received boxes and boxes of the same credit card in the mail.
Cycling and doping are drugs synonymous with the sport. CBS News investigates whether a cleanup might finish the race for good. So that story and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
The city's subway system is said to be safer than ever, but a new survey is shedding light on some hidden crimes. From indecent exposures to unwanted advances, the subway reportedly is a haven for sexual harassment. CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez live on the Upper West Side with details on what's going on down there. Hazel?
Well, Dana, sexual harassment and sexual assault may be happening in our subway systems more often than we think. The reason is very few victims are saying anything about it.
For far too long in New York City, there's been a credo that what happens underground stays underground.
Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer's office conducted a survey of more than 2,000 New York City subway riders and found a high percentage of riders had been sexually harassed or assaulted on the New York City subway system and never reported it. 63% of respondents reported having been sexually harassed in the subway system. 96% of those victims did not contact police. 10% of respondents said they were sexually assaulted. 86% of those victims did not report it.
I have been groped, I have been followed, I have been verbally harassed, I've been physically threatened, and I'm not unique in this experience.
Stringer and subway rider advocates are working on a plan to combat the underground problem so victims come forward and their attackers are caught.
We offer this survey to the MTA and the NYPD. We offer this survey to New Yorkers. We offer the cooperation of our office and advocacy groups to come up with a public service campaign that will reduce assault and attack and make this subway system truly the safest in the world, but for everybody.
And Stringer says he wants to make it easier for victims to report a crime. He is proposing more police presence in the subways and also a hotline for victims to call. We're live on the Upper West Side. Hazel Sanchez, CBS 2 News.
You, Hazel, and the police department says it's arrested 119 people so far this year for sexual abuse or lewdness in the subway.
All right, turning to the weather outside. It's getting a little steamy, some clouds moving in, according to Lonnie Quinn. With it, rain, and when?
Well, you know, rain is going to be holding off until about the weekend, and I hate to be talking about that because everyone always looks to the weekend for the nice weather, but we've had a great week around here. Take a look behind me. This is the Upper West Side of New York City. People enjoying the day today. Yes, New York City, you're catching some added cloud cover right now, but inland in New Jersey, still nice clear skies for you. Let's check in on the numbers of the day. 85 was our high, 71 was the low, right in line with where we should be in both those categories. Current temperatures outside, still pretty comfortable. New York City, 77, a little bit cooler. Out on the island, 76, Mineola, 74 in the Hamptons, one of the cooler spots. And then warmer inland in New Jersey, 83 Summit, 84 in Edison, the warmest reading. But again, inland in New Jersey is where the skies are a bit clearer right now. Take a look at our Titan picture, and we see the deck of clouds offshore, but consequently, Long Island, you're catching some clouds. New York City, inland in New Jersey, it's a nice evening out there. And we're all going to get a pretty decent night. We're not calling for a lot of wet weather out there, but the wet weather chances are going to increase as we move along. Here's the deal. We have a cut-off low-pressure system around the Great Lakes. A couple of bands of showers, but they really are not going to play with our weather until Saturday. So this right here will be Saturday's rain. It's not out of the question that one or two showers, stray showers, might not break free of the system and pass through the area. So there's a slight chance tonight and a slight chance tomorrow, a better chance on Saturday. But if we can pull the Titan picture out nice and wide, look what awaits around the Minneapolis area. That will be Sunday's front. Sunday, the wettest day of your weekend. And then that front is right on top of us for Sunday, and with a high pressure off to the east and a high pressure off to the west, this thing is boxed in, and this can't go anywhere. So what it's going to do is track to the north, and we have a steady string of wet weather days Monday into Tuesday. Finally, by Wednesday, it should be long gone, and Wednesday the sky should clear nicely for all of us. But until then, it will be on again, off again, wet weather with showers and storms a possibility. Tonight, we will drop you down to 72, partly cloudy, the possibility for that stray shower, but I really think most of us are going to be on the dry side tonight. Tomorrow, some patchy fog as our temperatures and dew points are both in line around 70 degrees, giving you some possibly tough driving conditions in the morning. Passing thunderstorms are a possibility, but not a sure bet tomorrow. High temperature 85. It will be on the muggy side. Saturday is when wet weather arrives, but it intensifies on Sunday and sticks around for Monday, even into Tuesday. Wednesday, once again, is when we finally get back to some sunshiny skies around here.
So tomorrow is okay for the most part.
For the most part, almost, I would say 95% of us stay dry tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe 96%.
You know what? Let's go 96.
All right. Give or take.
Thank you.
Well, it was an unexpected delivery, to say the least.
What moron could have sent this?
See what this man received in the mail after renewing just one credit card.
And gone in the middle of the night. How did a swimming pool with 1,000 gallons of water disappear from somebody's backyard?
I'm Sam Ryan. On the eve of training camp, one of the all-time greatest Jets calls it a career and a brilliant one. While Oliver Perez showed some signs of brilliance at Shea this afternoon, and along came the fifth inning. Highlights next in sports.
CBS 2 HD Sports, sponsored by ChevyOffers.com.
What makes the 07 Chevy Trailblazer big on safety? A U.S. government 5-star side impact crash test rating. Plus OnStar, offering help at the push of a button. Plus the best coverage in America, so you're protected for the road ahead. Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Chevy Trailblazer LS 4x4 for around $299 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Find your nearest dealer at ChevyOffers.com.
A local man contacted ExxonMobil to replace a couple of credit cards, gas credit cards that had recently expired.
But what the Manhattan CPA got instead was a lot more than he bargained for. CBS 2's Sean Hennessy explains.
Gas credit cards, they're used every day, but most people need just one. Not 1,000, but that's just what Frank Van Buren has on his hands, again.
I thought it was humorous.
That was after the first box of plastic money arrived from ExxonMobil a few weeks ago.
They said it was a mistake. Fine. Everybody's entitled to a mistake.
So the CPA shredded the 1,000 pieces of plastic and thought that was the end of it. Then, believe it or not, 1,000 more gas credit cards arrived, all in Van Buren's name, on Monday.
I wasn't surprised this time. It was, what moron could have sent this?
What's even more troublesome is that none of these cards had any activation stickers, which help prevent identity theft.
You just go to the gas station, stick it in, and get gas. And anybody could have taken these cards and just done that.
But the state banking department says potential thieves couldn't have done much more with these cards.
They would have to actually converse with you either in person or via phone in order to glean more information.
Information about why this happened is what this 17-year customer is waiting for.
They blame it on the system. They don't know how it happens. They're sorry. That's not an answer.
But it's what Van Buren is stuck with, along with the task of shredding $2 million in gas credits. Again, Sean Hennessy, CBS 2 News.
ExxonMobil says it regrets the inconvenience caused to Van Buren, but points out Citibank is the institution that issued the cards. Citibank has apologized to him and is now investigating.
A strange case in Paterson, New Jersey, where a family's giant inflatable swimming pool is stolen, water and all. It disappeared from the Valdivia's backyard sometime between 1 and 5 a.m. Wednesday. This pool was 12 feet in diameter, 3 feet high, filled with an estimated 1,000 gallons of water, taken without a drop of water left behind. The Paterson Police Department is now investigating. The families, oh gee, looking for somewhere to, cool off on a hot day. It's really
a couple of strange stories there.
An odd one, yes.
Anything strange going on with the Mets? Or?
A little bit at Shea this afternoon.
Really?
It was a camp day today, so an early start for them. And a day after Mets veteran lefty Tom Glavine earned career win number 299, 25-year-old lefty Oliver Perez was trying to help New York complete the sweep of the Pirates at Shea this afternoon. Now, he was cruising until the fifth after a broken bat single and an infield hit. Now, Perez, watch this, throwing away Cesar Asturias' bunt. Nate McClough, he comes in to score. That ties the game at 1. Now it gets strange. It unraveled. Still in the fifth. 3-1, make it 5-1 after the former Yankee Josh Phelps takes Perez deep, the 2-run homer. A 5-run inning for the Bucks. 8-3 Pittsburgh in the 8th. Jose Reyes, that's his 7th home run of the year. Not enough, though. Mets lose 8-4. Willie Randolph knows the 5th inning did them in.
When he hit the ball hard, he had, 8 or 9 strikeouts, so threw the ball great, but you got to be able to stay under control and manage the damage, and in that situation, he didn't.
Well, the Yanks go for the 4-game sweep of the Royals tonight, and it could be an historic one for Alex Rodriguez. He goes for career home run number 500, but here's a twist. Yanks and Orioles resume a suspended game from June 28th tomorrow. If A-Rod homers tomorrow, that would count as career home run number 493, meaning last night's home run would actually have been number 500. Well, Joe Torre was certainly impressed with last night's shot.
It's a line drive. That wasn't a fly ball. That was a line drive. And, for a line drive to stay in the air that long, especially in one of the deepest parts of the park, is, you have to have a special talent for that.
So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Jets open camp tomorrow. Players reported today, but Jets all-time leading rusher Curtis Martin wasn't there. He announced his retirement today. Now, he spent 8 of his 12 NFL seasons with gangrene, retires as the 4th all-time leading rusher in the NFL. Curtis missed all of last season with that bone-on-bone condition in his right knee and told me he was holding out hope that he could possibly play this year before announcing his retirement.
I was, until I accepted the fact and took the doctor's advice, and they said, Curtis, we don't recommend it. We know that if you do, you could be jeopardizing your future. And when my future began to be questioned, I knew that it was time to hang it up. It's not a down time. It's not a sad time. My career has served its purpose, and I believe that it's time for me to move on.
And for more of my sit-down with the Jets' leading rusher, tune into Sports Sunday, Sunday night, 11:35, right here on CBS 2. The Giants, meantime, report to Albany tomorrow. Players will begin practicing on Saturday. That's when they begin two-a-days. Welcome to camp. Falcons open training camp today without star quarterback Michael Vick, who was ordered to stay away from camp by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Now, he was in Richmond, Virginia court today, Vick I'm talking about, where he pleaded not guilty on dogfighting conspiracy charges. A trial date has been set for November 26, but Vick maintains his innocence.
This is Michael's words. Today in court, I pleaded innocent to the allegations made against me. I take these charges very seriously and look forward to clearing my good name. I respectfully ask all of you to hold your judgment until all of the facts are shown.
And finally tonight, while some Mets games can be dramatic, they're actually filming a movie at Shea Stadium, Old Dog, starring John Travolta and Robin Williams. So guess who was on hand at Shea trying to take some BP? Johnny Travolta. So we know he can dance. What about hit?
Not so much.
No. Couldn't script that one.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
Coming up at 11, it's an illegal move that angers just about everyone who doesn't do it. Tonight, we're alongside police as they crack down on aggressive drivers. So join us tonight for CBS 2 News at 11.
Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Dana Tyler.
And I'm Jim Rosenfield. The CBS Evening News with Katie Couric is next.
See you tomorrow.
You've been watching CBS 2 News in high definition.
I'm Katie Couric. A nose